I'd like to call the Clinton Township Planning Commission meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome everyone to the Planning Commission meeting tonight. Mr. Thompson, would you take roll call, please?
I certainly will. Thank you. Mr. Adlin? Mr. Kurt is excused. Mr. DeBartolomeo?
Here.
Mr. Green is excused. Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mr. Hubler is excused. Mr. Rucker? Here. And Mr. Sasson is excused this evening. And Mr. Wade, Trustee Wade?
Here. Also in attendance is our planning director, Mr. Bruce Thompson. So everyone knows we do have a quorum here. Okay, it's see only 5 of us. We do have a quorum, so we can continue on. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? I'll look for approval of the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First item, revised site development plan approval for proposed accessory storage building. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
This is a revised site plan approval, so there were no mailings. This is a request for revised site development plan approval for an accessory storage building for an existing industrial site. This is the site plan. It is located on the east side of Klix at 15 Mile Road. For you that have been around a while, it's the old skating rink. It's now occupied with an industrial use. Excuse me. Back to what I was doing here. The main structure is here. So north is to the top of the picture. Klix is to the left. This is the existing building. What they're looking at doing is constructing a 4,800 square foot accessory storage building here, what would be at the southeast corner of the site. Just so you know, as you've read in the report, a variance was granted for height of structure. So that item has been taken care of. The site itself will predominantly stay the same. It's access to Klix. The off-street parking spaces that are there. They will be providing some additional landscaping to bring this site up to those standards today. As a result, we are asking that you, the Planning Commission, approve this request for revised site development plan approval.
Thank you. Is the petitioner present? Could you please step forward with your name and address, please, for the record?
Ryan Fifelski, 35020 Klix, Clinton Township.
Anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think it's going to be a great building. Some site improvements, clean it up a little bit.
Okay. Yep, you were in front of us, last month in front of the
Yep,
ZBA.
Sure
Yep.
was, yeah.
Yep, when you asked for the variance, yep. But, this is something that was approved before, and they're coming back for revise. So everything remains the same except for the new provisions that they're asking for on the site plan. Any questions? I'll ask the audience. I see there's some people out there. Does anybody have a comment or anything they'd like to make on this? Seeing none, is there anything from the commissioners at this point? Is there a motion then?
I'll do a motion to approve the revised site development plan approval for the storage unit.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rucker?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Adlin?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBartolomeo?
Yes.
And Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Okay, motion's approved, so you're all set and ready to go.
Great.
You don't have to go any further, except go do your
Building.
thing. Yep, build it.
Okay, great.
Congratulations, good luck
Thank
to
you.
you.
Appreciate you guys.
Item number 2, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. This is site development plan approval for what's going to be known as Unity Park. This is a vacant parcel at the northwest corner of Romeo Plank and Partridge Creek Boulevard. Just so you know, there were 18 letters of notice mailed out. One was returned. Right to the site plan, if I can, they provided a little aerial to show where this site is. It's a very unusual shaped piece of property. It's actually zoned multiple family, but as you can imagine, looking at this and looking at that site, it is not possible to develop this site with any type of structure. It's just not designed for that, and I don't think that was the original intent ultimately with what this property was going to be. That's what you're seeing here. This is then the site plan that they're submitting. It's a little under an acre and a half. This is going to be a park, Unity Park. Will contain monuments. One specifically, they provide a colored photograph or rendering of right here, here at basically the center of the site. Benches, landscaping, walkways, all the things that you see on that plan. There are no requirements for setbacks or anything along those lines. This is just a park, right, with some monuments for everybody to enjoy. This is just a little bit of a close-up that they provided. So that larger monument here, an archway monument here, benches, sidewalk tie-ins to the public sidewalk and to the parking lot to the north and to the west. And I do believe, I tried to get that in. It got a little fuzzy when I zoomed in on it, but it gives you an idea of what we're looking at there. So this is something that is full site plan approval since it is a vacant site. So you'll be asked to make a recommendation this evening, and it goes on to the Township Board. Obviously, we are recommending as the Planning Department administration that you forward a recommendation for approval to the board on this request. Thank you.
Thank you, as petitioner present. Name and address for the.
Yeah, good evening, Dominic Moceri. Let's see how I can plug this in here. I got a small presentation for you. Does it automatically connect?
No. It's got a.
Okay.
It's like me. It takes some time to think.
Click share.
Yeah. Click on that.
Yeah, I think it's going.
As soon as that turns red, then we know we're good.
There you go.
Bingo.
Perfect. Okay, good evening, everybody. Dominic Moceri from Partridge Creek Holding Company. Originally, this parcel was part of the original Montclair Partridge Creek site plan approval. It was approved for 8 townhome units, but as Mr. Thompson stated, it's kind of a funky parcel. And how this park kind of came about was we said, you know what, we have 598 units at Partridge Creek right now. We came in for a site plan approval for Paloma, which is at the corner of Dove Street and Partridge Creek Boulevard. And the room was packed. We said, well, this isn't for us. And what was happening was there was a little consternation versus Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. And my uncle stood up and he said, you know what, it's enough of the disconnect between our people. So we decided, you know what, let's donate a park. We're going to call it Unity Park. And actually, can you pass me that piece of paper? We have gotten a tax exemption. We are registered 501c3 at this time. So the registered purpose of the park is the corporation was organized to study, research, educate, and disseminate knowledge of world geographical history and the history of migrations of the world's peoples while encouraging unity amongst its citizens. One quick change to what Mr. Thompson presented. This circular area was originally intended for the picture that you showed on the screen. Since then, we had hired a sculpture artist, Eric Nordine. He's done several pieces for ourselves as well as several municipalities around the Metro Detroit area and the U.S. So I'm going to scroll down because you've already seen the site plan. But this is the sculpture that's going to be at the center of our parcel. It's very abstract. I'm going to let Eric kind of take the helm on describing the artwork and what it really brings and what it means to the community. So I'll let him kind of talk on that. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. How are y'all doing? So my brother Israel and I are Michigan artists, Detroit artists. Some of the pieces that we've done here locally would be the tree that we created for David Bonnier. That's local over on Gratiot. The roundabout of Sterling Heights, we did the seed. We have, I think, 7 pieces now in Harrison Township. We're working on a new one that celebrates, an underwater city that's been discovered under the water that they're, doing something really interesting with. And we've worked with the Moceri several times on projects. This one we're really excited about because it celebrates discovery and exploration, something that we think is really, wonderful to kind of talk with our kids and our communities about, and something to bring people together, create conversations. This piece celebrates the continents on our planet, which is the base, and the facets of the base symbolize that. We wanted to look like if you were looking through a telescope and you kind of saw a sail in the distance. It could be any kind of a ship from any country, but just something that celebrates, this idea that the world is got explorers, and it has, this idea of just exploring and discovering. The 5 blue spheres in it symbolize the oceans. And in the signage that will be at the site, at the park, there'll be a lot of different information on, as Dominic kind of alluded to, various explorers and history and things that will, be interesting for our children to learn about our history. I don't know if there's any questions about the piece specific, but I'd be happy to answer them if you do have any.
The only question I have, the height,
The height is going to be about 25 foot tall.
is there any type of ordinance or anything on anything like that? Okay, just structures. Okay.
No, we have major pieces, like a piece on Belle Isle, that's a 30-foot diameter
Yeah.
piece, and a 45-foot one by
I
the
just wanted to
Ambassador
check with
Bridge.
if we had any ordinance here.
Okay, and we'll make sure we cover any details in terms of, structural engineering and stuff.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll get to you when they're done with their presentation. I promise you, okay?
That's all I have. I think it's going to be a great addition to the community, right next to the Italian American Cultural Society. We've worked with their board. We have gotten easements for parking through them. There are several agreements that we worked through with them, actually. There might be a piece of the northern property that is going to be like this in the lower right-hand side. That's really dedicated to all the different countries around the world, representing all the continents as well. So, open any questions.
That property, would you have butts up to their parking lot, if I'm not mistaken?
Correct.
Right, I used to be president there one time from 10 to 12, so
Okay.
I'm familiar with when the whole piece of property.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So-
yeah.
All right, so it's going to bump up to the,
Yeah, if you look, I'll
Yeah.
try to zoom in here. So there's your parking lot.
Yep.
And
Okay.
this is the new parking lot.
yeah,
So
Okay.
we've been working with Giovanni and Maximo quite extensively.
good. Okay. I know they have some comments to make, and if you have
Absolutely.
any questions or all, then I'll call you back up, and then we'll go to the board then for questions, okay?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm Daniel Dennis.
Yeah, please step forward.
4619 Blue Lane. I live like right across the street with a nice.
Could you speak into the microphone, please?
I'm sorry. I live right across the street with a nice shot on Loon Lane. Does the plan include taking down the current Partridge Creek monument there at the corner?
So speak to
Very
us with the
pretty.
question. So
Does that include the taking down the current Partridge Creek
he'll
monument?
answer that for you, so
Okay.
just go ahead and.
All right, and there's really pretty hedge and flowers there. We don't know if that's still going to be there. Yeah, and there's evergreen trees lining that street there. That's very nice. And I guess we're wondering, it's a nice parcel. Why do we need to change that? It's a very nice green space. The parcel in question is nice. The surrounding area is already very busy with the cultural center, and then they built that new clubhouse, and they hold events there like 5-6 days a week. There's always a lot of vehicles there, a lot of foot traffic. It's going to be even busier now with extended more foot traffic with the park and the monuments. We already have a nice monument there at the corner for Partridge Creek. I mean, do we need 2 more? For all the above reasons, yeah, my wife and I like to say something too, but we're not really excited about it. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Kathy Banas, and as Dan said, we live at 43619 Loon Lane, so we're actually the first street, the first house. So this is like right there. And first of all, I want to say that I love art.
Ma'am, speak.
Love art. And I love the symbolism, and I love your vision that you're talking about, the history, all of it. my point is I don't think that parcel of land is big enough to effectively accommodate such a thing. When we moved into this neighborhood and found this house, again, first house, first street, so right across from the Italian Cultural Center, we really loved the home and the area. First of all, it was close to all the things that we need, you know, our church, our doctors, our kids, our blah, blah, blah. Everything was close. But what made it really, in the midst of the convenience, that location, what we really enjoyed was that even in the midst of having several homes in this neighborhood, I mean, several hundred homes, I meant to say, there was still a sense of nature with the Partridge Creek Boulevard and all the trees and the grass, green spaces here and there. Of course, everything has developed since then in the last 6 years. The new apartments coming or the expansion of the apartments. And they, you know, the builder does great work, beautiful, upscale structures, and that's fine. That's progress. And then the Italian Cultural Center expanding their property as well. So again, there's just more concrete and more taking away of trees, taking away of grass, taking away of that park that it's just that little park on Romeo Plank, Partridge Creek Park, the Gloaty Drain, whatever. It's not Lake St. Clair or anything, but it is a little bit of nature, and we really enjoy that. So the cultural center, as Dan said, is busy 6 days a week. We see it, you know, from our house. It's a great center, and we actually belong to it because why not? We're right there. We're not Italian, but that's okay. And so we have nothing against any of that. We like the activity, but we really are protective of the little bit of green space that we have. So that we really looked at when we got the letter, we looked at that parcel, and it really seems kind of small to accommodate the structure that they're talking about. And so we, let me make sure I got all the points. Yeah, I guess I'm just concerned about losing the natural beauty and for more construction of any kind, even though it's beautiful art, and I acknowledge that. So just something to consider as you guys make your decision.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Moceri, do you want to address a couple of the issues that the gentleman brought up there?
Yeah, let me just zoom out here. The northwest Partridge Creek Monument, the brick and stone with the hedge and all that is going to remain the same. So you have no worries there. I do want to point out again that, you know, this isn't a park now or a green space, if you will. This is a developable site that's already been approved. So I could technically go into Mr. Thompson or to the building department and get a building permit for 8 townhomes that's been approved already. So we feel it's a great benefit to the community. The trees along Partridge Creek Boulevard, they will remain. I would like to maybe spade some of them out so we can get some more visibility from Romeo Plank. But as far as that's concerned, I think it's a great alternate to 8 townhomes on that parcel. Be very feasible for us to get a curb cut on Partridge Creek Boulevard and begin with our plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to give, if I may, let me give you a brief history here. So I was on the Planning Commission when we approved the development of Montclair, okay? And that was in what, 06, 07,
Yeah.
08, somewhere,
that time.
right around that time. I was involved with the Cultural Center. I was president there from 2010 to 2012. During that time, that Goldie Dam was owned by the Cultural Center. And the Moceri family had that parcel there that they're speaking of. So we, the Cultural Center, we did a swap with the county. The county wanted the Goldie Dam, and there was a piece of property, I think that where the parking lot is now, the new parking lot for the cultural center that belonged to the county. So we did a swap, okay? So Moceri family came in and they put in what is presently there, but we did approve that if they wanted to put up 8 townhouses, they can, and they can still do it to this day. My feeling, my thoughts is, I think, it's their piece of property, and the owner has a right to do with what they want with their piece of property, providing they stay within the ordinance and the statutes. And I think it will enhance that little area instead of just saying Montclair with bushes. It's be a nice little park. It does get a lot of foot traffic. You have people that run, people that jog, that type of thing. And I think it'll be a nice accent to that area over there. It's not going to create any more traffic than what's there. But I think knowing the Moceris and their involvement in the community, I think it'll be a piece of property that they're going to keep up and maintain, and it's not going to let it, get trashed. That's my opinion on this here. Open up to the board.
Do you mind if Eric?
I did have a few questions.
Yeah.
Chair, for the petitioner. You mentioned your nonprofit. Can you state that again? What?
Yeah, it's called Unity Park Foundation.
Unity Park.
Do you want me to repeat the
No, sir.
purpose
No,
of
sir.
it?
No, sir. No.
Unity Park Foundation? I have the file here if you'd like to see it.
I would. That would be awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, if this plan was to get approved, I just had one quick question. Will your nonprofit be building in other parks in Clinton Township? And can you speak to maybe a plan that you already have?
Not at this time. This is the only one that we dedicated for this purpose. We named it Unity Park Foundation for Unity Park. If we decide to expand, we've just started, so we're starting to gather funds for this one. Right now, it's privately funded, but we will be accepting donations for an endowment to sustain it as well as ourselves. So.
Will the park have certain hours? In other words, at 9 o'clock at night, will somebody go and put a gate across or lock it up or do something so people can't get in there? Or
It's something that we'd be open to. I don't know how you're going to be able to cut off 4 pedestrian access points, including off of Romeo Plank through the green space, Partridge Creek Boulevard, as well as the Italian American Cultural Society's parking lot. I am happy to post hours on a sign. Absolutely am able to do that.
okay. I mean, I know your family history. I know it'll be beautiful. I've seen all your work, and it's above outstanding. The other thing I was curious about, in our letter, it said that they were going to build a statue. Is there any statue you have in mind, or?
It's just this particular sculpture. If we
Just that
decide
one?
that we have room to the west or any of the other areas along the brick paver walkway, we will come back and request approval for those.
Okay, thank you.
So, did I hear that there are going to be monuments?
The monument was originally supposed to be what Mr. Thompson showed up with the
Okay.
7 sides, but we decided to go forward with the sculpture. I think that the abstract view of it all really represents what we're looking for, rather than something that's so, what's the word I'm looking for, direct and brutal.
It'll actually be smaller than the monument. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, any other structures being built for this park?
No.
So, I think someone mentioned explorers.
Yes.
So, will there be names of explorers?
Yeah, there'll be some signage around the center of it, around this
Okay.
brick paver walkway you see here. So there'll be like a signage with a QR code. Hey, this continent was discovered by so-and-so. These countries are part of it. Some of the
And
history
who's
along with
making
it.
the decision on what explorers are going there?
There has not been yet.
Okay.
Further questions, comments? Last time. I'll give you one last shot. Yeah, one last shot.
I just wanted to add.
Can you come up?
Please.
Another concern is traffic, bike, foot, motorized scooter, traffic on the walkways. Does it go across the boulevard from the structure? Do you know?
That does not.
It does not. It
Ma'am,
stops.
speak.
It stops. I'm just trying to get clarity for the sidewalk situation. So it goes from the Boulevard sidewalk into the sculpture area. Is that correct?
Yes,
And around,
Yeah.
kind of a circle. Okay.
thank you. One last time.
And I just wanted to make comment to the couple because I can respect living close to it and wanting to look a certain way in the green space. But I think what we are proud to be doing with the Moceris is taking a space that could have been a development or could have been these condos, and the Moceri family really felt that the green space was important to the community, but in some way kind of create some type of an activity, just something visual. It's not like they're putting in pickleball courts or things like that. This is really just something to celebrate and bring people together and to create, a connection, say, between a grandfather and a granddaughter or something like that, of just like, what is this? Who are these explorers? Something that will look beautiful in the sky, something that will just beautify the space but give it purpose. So I just wanted to note that was really in the Moceri's heart of creating something that was beautiful for the community, but that wasn't overdone. It's stated just in a nice way. It will have information on explorers, but just the idea to celebrate that in general and teach a little bit about how many continents are there, what's the biggest continent, where are oceans, things like that. Just simple things that kids, even adults, sometimes don't know. So it really is just something that be beautiful and to bring that to the community.
Thank you. Okay, I think it enhances a green space.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna make a quick statement here. So I just took that planning certificate for Michigan State, and it was a pretty lengthy course, and pretty much every project or every township, they call it Spartyville, right? And it always comes with the complaint and then the answer at the end on what would help the township or what would help Spartyville. And almost every time, it's when you create a walking space and a park and you really try to connect a busy place with and bring a community together at the same time, it was always put a walking space in there, enhance the park for the community. So with that, I would like to make a motion to the site development plan for approval for the proposed Unity Park.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Rucker?
Yes.
Commissioner Adlin?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBartolomeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Okay, as you know, we're a recommending body.
Yes.
So you will be in front of the Board of Trustees on June 22nd at 6:30 back here in this chamber for final approval.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson, we do have a corporate event that evening downtown for the fireworks. Is it possible to postpone to the next month?
The next meeting would be the 29th, but if you want to move to it,
29th is fine.
then I will place it on the 29th.
Thank
There
you
you
all.
go.
Appreciate it. Have a nice evening.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And by the way, you're welcome to come on that day and speak at the Board of Trustees meeting as well, okay? So you're not totally cut off. Remember, we're a recommending body, so it has to go for final approval to the Board of Trustees on the 29th of,
It'll be the 29th, correct?
okay? Next, public comments. Excuse me, we're still in session. Public comments, anyone? And anything besides what we spoke about? Hearing none, report approval of the May 28, 2026 meeting minutes. Everyone had a chance to look at them. If there's no additions or corrections, we'll take a motion to accept and receive.
So moved.
I'll support it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Discussion of the next meeting, June 25th.
We do not have any items.
We have no items.
No.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I just like to, I'm just concerned about explorers in this park. Who are they? What are they? Who do they represent? That's my only concern about.
You know what? I think if you sat down, talked to Moceri's, they're very, they're good people. They'll work with you. They'll talk to you. I think, once they get to that point,
Yeah.
I think they'll have that discussion with you. I really do. They've done so much here in the community, and they're always willing to listen. Other questions, comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Support. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?